Hey you all, it is March 9th, Sunday, GMT plus 11 time zone, so of course I'm a day ahead of most of you all. I was texting with a friend this morning. She's in South Africa, and she reminded me of a wonderful conversation that my father and I had years ago, which was this understanding that anything outside of your being is just an expression of you, but doesn't necessarily define you. And I say that because a lot of people that I care about and love right now are in a transition space, especially those who I worked with at USAID and then also, other federal government agencies, of course, as there continues to be this kind of uprooting. And so I just wanted to be mindful and share with you all, even if you aren't working for the federal government, even if you are in a different line of work, or even if you are in a different transition period of your life. It doesn't have to be employment. It can be your business. It can be a relationship, a marriage. It can be as you are transitioning through parenthood. It can be as you are redefining who you are. Similar to my last video or video before that, where we talk about defining success and what that looks like for you. It can be any of those aspects, but it's a reminder that what we do outside our being is an expression of us and not the definition of us. So for those of us, like for me, I spent a lot of my career in stateside, in the States, doing traveling overseas for like temporary deployments, temporary assignments. And now, of course, you all know I live overseas for a long-term assignment. And so we sometimes forget that what we do is not the definition or the totality of who we are. And that can work in a positive or a negative manner. It can mean that you can make a mistake and it doesn't define your entire character, as long as there's transparency and integrity and a way to pivot from it. Or it can be in a positive aspect where, there's been plenty of people who devoted their life. I have devoted my life to the service of people for majority of my life at this point. But it doesn't mean that if that capacity or that role in which I've done the support changes, it doesn't mean that that then negates who I am, or that doesn't mean that that is the totality of who I am. And so bearing that in mind as we go through different seasons and chapters of our lives, we think about Ecclesiastics, in and out of season, a time to be joyful, a time to be mourning, a time for, sorrow, this time for happiness, which is similar to what I just said, but it's the understanding that there's these seasons in life flows in a way. Sometimes where it is brash and hard, and sometimes it's sweet and it's flowing. And knowing that who you are at your core and at your essence is your truth. But also giving room for when you start to become this malleable being and you start to become this spirit that looks different depending on the chapter or season that you're in, if that makes sense to you. So I just wanted to remind you all that we are who we are. We can only define who we are in whatever season of life you might be in. What we do outside of our being, what we do outside of our essence, is our expression, but it's not the totality. It's not the defining factor of who we are. So I wrote a book. I actually have written 2 books, and I am presently working on my 3rd because I'm being obedient to God. But I wrote a book, and if someone doesn't like my book, and if someone thinks, oh my gosh, this is like utter trash, that doesn't mean that I'm utter trash. That means they have a destructive opinion about something that was an expression of who I was. But keep in mind, we're not for everyone. You're not supposed to be necessarily for everyone. You can be a person who gives universal love to all people, but that doesn't mean that everyone's going to accept you or understand you or receive you, or that your spirit resonates with everyone. And that's okay. It's okay to not be palatable to everyone while still holding true to who you are, right? But understanding, once again, that not one particular measure is the totality of who we are. So continue to express, continue to explore, continue to educate, continue to inspire, continue to motivate yourself and others with the understanding that the wisdom that we glean from, the wisdom that we share, the expressions of our beings is not the full essence, not the full totality, not the full definition of who we are, and to be okay with that. All right. I love you all so much. I hope that as you are going through your journey, that you are encouraged, that you're reminded that you're loved, that you're reminding that your purpose, and that is why you're still present, and to continue to move forward with insight, with grace, and with understanding. Okay. I love you all so much. Happy Sunday. Happy start of your new week. It's a blessed week. Remember to stay in a space of gratitude. All right.